الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم.
The words of man and the words of God. If you pick up the Quran, you won't find that kind of stuff.
I never noticed that.
But you got to read this.
I'll
man.
check that
okay,
out.
no,
Check
so
that
this is just one. Let me show you a few more.
Because the reason why I said I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if it's the same king, if it's what
Right.
by that.
How many
I will need to read
Isaiahs?
the whole,
Right.
the whole
How many
thing.
Isaiahs ruled Jerusalem for 1 year?
Right. So I don't know the context of it.
All right.
So I can't.
But I want you to go back and read it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, totally.
Jehoiachin was 18 years old when he became king, and he ruled in Jerusalem for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Jehoiachin was 8 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem for 3 months. This is King James.
Is it King James too?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's take
That'd be
it.
something fun to look at.
Yeah, interesting, right? I don't know why they put all this stuff in the beginning instead of beginning with
Who's the messenger peace be upon all of them? Who's the Jesus peace be upon according to
Yeah, that's not a
King James.
thing?
It is.
Oh yeah, the new King James. Oh, the new King James.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember
Right?
I told you about the new King James and the King James?
Exactly. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying is if you
So
look at
the
these
one,
words,
the one that I read is
Right,
actually
right.
Young Literal's translation.
the young literal will have the same numbers. Go home and check it.
I'll check
Or,
it out,
or
I'll check it
Google
out.
it. Google it right now on your phone. Check,
I'll check it out.
check it out. No. This is just a few that I can show you that
Right.
shows the corruption that went on in the Bible by showing difference in numbering, right?
Right.
So
So the fact that it's a different number is like a question, right? To be like, wait, wait a minute, what happened?
So look at this, right?
not accurate.
2 Chronicles 9:25. Solomon had 4,000 stalls of horses and chariots and 12,000 horsemen whom he stationed at the chariot cities with the king at Jerusalem. Right? Now 1 King 4:26. Solomon had 40,000. You see this?
Yeah,
Stalls
yeah.
of horses and chariots and 12,000 horsemen. Right? So here it's 40,000, here it's 4,000. How many Solomons were there? There's more than one?
40,000, 4,000.
Yeah. So this is the thing.
That's interesting, man.
That's interesting,
That's
right?
interesting.
You got to think about. Now,
Yeah.
what I want you to do is read the Quran. Take it with you.
I have
It's
one, bro.
free, right? You have one?
Yeah, I have one.
Look through the whole thing and find me anything like this. You won't.
Yeah.
Because that's the words, the literal words of God, not the words of Muhammad, right?
Right.
And that's why we depend on that.
But I am going to tell you something.
Go ahead.
This is one version that's called
Right.
the New King James.
Sure.
It's many other versions.
Look,
brother.
right here is a different
So-
version.
so we
let's
can't- we
let's look up the same numbers in here.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm
So
gonna
look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
I have at least 12 different versions of the Bible in my house. All of them have the same inaccuracies. Why?
Now, when you were reading the Bible, were you looking to look for mistakes? Or
No.
were you looking to seek wisdom?
Seek wisdom. I used to go to Bible studies before I ever went to a mosque.
Right.
I read the Bible cover to cover before I read the Quran.
Did you ever read Proverbs 8?
I read the entire Bible, but I haven't memorized it,
about
right?
wisdom?
I haven't memorized it, right?
Right.
But I went up to the Bible in Bible studies from cover to cover.
Gotcha.
Right? I was 15 at the time.
Right.
Right? I studied the Bible before I studied the Quran.
Right.
Right? I wasn't trying to criticize or argue or debate. I was 15.
Totally.
I was trying to learn. But the questions I asked in church got me kicked out a lot because, like
Of
you,
course, yeah.
a lot of it didn't make
Oh,
sense.
totally. I get
What-
kicked out sometimes too, bro.
You feel me, right? So
But
now,
I also get embraced a lot with
Nice.
people on the way.
I feel you.
know what I'm saying?
But most churches, if you go
The
in and
popular
say,
one, totally, I agree.
I'm
Actually,
with you.
you know what they get called?
Mhm.
They can either call me Jehovah's Witness or
Yeah.
they call me Muslim.
you're Muslim. I
It's
told
fine.
you. You
Okay,
just
okay,
don't know it.
okay, okay.
All right, check this
Go.
out now. Now, what we say is, look, you find these inaccuracies. You know there's tampering. Because in the words of God, there can't be such. I mean, God knows 40 and 4,000 and 8 and 18, right? The Quran has none of
But
those.
those are, you know what? Trust me. I mean, I'm gonna look at those numbers.
Good.
But even if I would see that, honestly, I see it as numbers. I don't see it as a life-giving source.
Right, but think about this,
so
right?
a life-giving source was something,
Sure.
for example, what I read.
Excellent.
Do not get angry. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect.
Wisdom. You know,
But-
apply
But
what
the issue,
you
the
keep.
issue gets to be is
Right.
everybody has some nice things they say,
Right.
right? But if I come to you and let's say you're studying math with me,
Right.
right? And I tell you all kinds of really good math principles, and then I tell you 2 + 2 is 5.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, bro, I don't think so, right?
Right.
Then you would doubt my credibility because if I don't know that 2 + 2 is 4, right? Even if the other nice things I said,
understand that. I
feel-
understand that.
I don't become the
see that.
criterion,
I
right?
see that.
So the Quran becomes the criterion of right and wrong. Why? Because this is perfection. No contradiction, no numbers wrong, right? Google it, look it up, right? And then what we do is, okay, then we look at what we find in this Bible and we believe that some of it's the truth. right?
How do you determine what's true, what's not?
Excellent. We compare this message to the Quran. And the Quran being the perfection, the words of Allah.
But shouldn't we compare it to the first source?
Right, but that's the thing. We don't have the original writings of Jesus.
How do we know that? Who told you that?
Historic research. Go look it up.
Right,
Any biblical scholar.
Why historic? Because
Sure.
in historical biblical theologians, all theologians who put things together, they have favoritisms.
But
you have to admit that, right?
if you look up online, Christian, non-Christian, Jewish scholars, one thing they all agree on is the original writings that were in the time of the Jesus are no longer with us. The best we have are 70 years, 40 years, 100 years after. And then those went through translations.
The Dead Sea Scrolls just a little bit ago.
Right. But the Dead Sea Scrolls, for example, aren't even included in the Bible here. I have them, right? I've been reading them, right? But this is the interesting thing.
No, they're included in there.
No.
Actually, a lot of them were.
Where are they?
They're books. Like the book
They're not in here.
Yeah, the book of Daniel. Like
No, the actual Dead Sea Scrolls that we have now as an independent book, right? Those were not published with King James versions.
There's a lot of books that were part of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Remember, we put those together. There was no numbers before. Titles.
No.
We put those together so it'd be easier for people to read.
I have them independent at home, and I read it, and there are chapters there that are not in this Bible.
Or chapters, but from one book, like from the book of Daniel, Ezekiel, Isaiah.
From the Dead Sea Scrolls themselves. Right.
But there's divisions in the Dead Sea
Right.
Scrolls. So what are you talking about?
But that entire what was discovered later, you will not find in here, right? All of it's not in here, right? So
they're in there.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just do this. When we'll go home, we'll get the actual Dead Sea Scrolls that were printed by themselves, and we'll compare it, right? Because when were they discovered?
Because I think a few years ago.
A few years ago, right? So when these were being printed for hundreds and hundreds of years, those weren't even discovered yet.
Well, that's the thing though. When they discovered and they saw that a lot of those stuff that are in there, it's like, yeah, I will tell you this. Some stuff were not in there. But a lot of them,
we're getting there.
A lot of them were included right there. Remember,
right. But that's a great.
The Council of Nicaea, brother.
I agree with you. I'm 100% with you on that one. The Council of Nicaea ruined the Christian faith, right? By giving divinity to Jesus, who was a prophet.
Right. And where does that come from? The
Roman pagan. I'm with you, right?
So remember,
the sun god.
The sun god on December 25th.
This guy's Muslim. I told you, man.
I know that. But, that doesn't describe.
So now let's agree to something, right?
Yeah.
Because me and you are on the same page, right?
Yeah. Somehow.
We are, and in a very clear way. I'm with. Yeah. Trust me, I have a lot of discussions with Christians. You're the most Muslim I've ever met.
But believe me,
right?
bro.
So now, if you have some corruption in here, right? You agree to that, right?
Yeah.
There is some. We agree, right? Then wouldn't we make the judge?
Now, when I say this, I'm talking about versions.
Right.
The message is not corrupted.
Right, but let's talk about the message, right? The Council of
Nicaea
Nicaea,
is not corrupted.
right? If you look at the numbers...
Wait. The reason why I tell you it was this. If we say the message is corrected, we say that God is not perfect.
No.
So we have to be careful.
No, I don't think that's what we're saying. Right. We're saying is God is perfect. His message is perfect.
The message is perfect.
But people, like the Council of Nicaea, corrupt the message, right? They corrupt it, not God's message.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if we know, like the numbers we just saw that don't match, right? That there is some addition, subtraction that was done, then we take that which is perfect and make that the judge, right? We say, look at what's in here, and if it matches that which is perfect, we believe in it. And if it doesn't, then we say, you know what?
But then what do we do with all the writings that
we keep
it?
Like
they're not
we
real?
keep
like, for example,
it. No,
the letters
look,
of Matthew.
Look, we keep everything, but we judge it against a message that was preserved in perfection. And let me give you.
There is a part in the I remember in the Quran. I remember like reading it, where it says, if you have any questions, to go back to the people of the way.
People of knowledge. Right. So what does that mean? Go and ask the people of remembrance, right? Meaning you go to the people who know the Quran, who know the Hadith, that know the Bible, that know history, and you and me as laymen, we go to those scholars with our questions and see what the answer is, right?
Well, at that point, remember when Muhammad's reading that, he's referring to the Christians.
Right, but he's talking about a general rule that's applicable for us as Muslims. And what is the rule is that if you don't know, go to the people of knowledge, right? It doesn't just mean Christians or Jews, right? It means, for example, if I have a question I don't know, I need to go to a scholar, right? And that's what we believe today.
Have you read the Old and New Testament?
The Bible, New and Old Testament.
Is there any New Testament that you disagree as far as like
Sure.
a moral law?
So when you talk about moral law, right? Let's take at.
Like I know earlier
Sure.
you were talking about like turning your other cheek,
Sure.
angry, stuff
So
like
I'll show you what I
Is there
think.
some teaching there that
Yeah,
you're like, no,
yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't correlate with the Quran? We
Yeah.
don't agree with
I'll
that.
show you.
No, the New Testament. That's the Old
So,
Testament.
for example, in
Is
the
there something there that you're like, wait a minute, this is...
yeah. So he says, "Don't think that I came." New Testament,
Yeah.
Matthew, right? Don't think that I came to bring peace on
but to
earth.
bring a sword,
Bring a
to put-
sword.
oh, yeah.
To put a
You know what
man
that means?
against his father, to put a daughter
I always
against
get
her
that
mother.
mistranslated with a lot of even
All right.
Christians, man.
So tell me, what do you think it means?
No, you tell me first. And then
So I think it shows that Jesus came to bring division, and I don't believe that. I believe Jesus came to bring peace, right? For example, in Luke here, I see, do you suppose that I came to give peace on earth? Tell you, not at all, but rather division, right? This is Luke again, chapter 19,
So
verse.
to bring a certain father will be against mother.
Right.
So can I have
Tell-
the permission to explain?
please.
that? Okay.
Educate me.
And the people watching too.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens is when you have a belief, okay, you've been taught that we are to worship this yellow pen.
Right.
Your family traditions have always done that.
Right.
The moment that somebody teaches you something different, now it changes. Your family, guess what's going to happen?
They're gonna go
They're
against you.
disown you.
Right.
They're going to divide everything.
Right.
So when Jesus came to bring a message, it was a message that was going to divide people. Why? Because people were going to feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So the Jewish at that time, they had their customs, their things like, wait a minute, what the heck? We're supposed to do this like this. Like, who are you to start teaching? Like, Jesus was bringing light. So guess what? It was division. And guess what? The fourth of it.
But don't you think that
They
message
started
would bring
killing
peace
people,
though?
bro.
I'm saying it'll bring some struggle.
The peace that was
Right. But
brought.
it says that
Yeah.
I didn't come to bring peace.
Right.
I don't believe Jesus brought.
right.
I believe that message of Jesus would
But
eventually
it's
bring that
it's
peace.
metaphoric. We have to be careful when we read
All
that
right.
because it's
So-
something
so-
that's very metaphoric.
So-
when it
so-
says like it's not talking about pieces and like let's
So let
make
me-
war like because Jesus
You
never
are-
said let's go and kill people.
All right.
let's
So
do that. it's not about war.
you just said Jesus never said let's go and kill people, right?
Yeah, she didn't say
All
let's
right.
kill people.
So Luke 19:27. But bring here those enemies of mine who did not want me to reign over them and slay them before me.
Okay, let's read that. Let's read it in context. It's very important.
Yeah,
to
read
in
it.
context. Okay. So did you? I think are you talking
Read
about a
it.
parable? Let's see. Like, you're talking
No,
about a parable.
we're talking about Luke.
Okay, then Jesus entered and passed. Okay. Likewise, he said to him, okay, let's read it. Master, here is Mina, which I kept away for I received because of you. And said to him, out of your own mouth I will judge you, you wicked servant. You knew that I was collecting. Why then did you put my money? Yeah, so this is a parable.
How is that a parable?
Oh,
go ahead.
this
Keep
is a
going.
par- yeah.
Keep reading. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Why did you not?
Why did you not put my money in the bank? Yeah, this is a parable
Right.
of the workers.
So go ahead.
So Jesus is telling a story.
No,
This
he's giving his commandment, right?
No, this is a
Go
story.
ahead.
He's talking a parable. You know what parable is, right?
I know what a parable is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've read parables.
This is all
but,
parable,
but
bro.
how do you find that?
What do you mean how to find it? Like,
Whose
from the
words
beginning.
are these?
This is Jesus speaking.
Okay, so Jesus is
Yeah,
saying,
so he's telling a story. He told them many
for
stories.
those that didn't want me to rule,
Right. So
Bring them in front of me.
No. You misconcepted me.
Go ahead.
That's why I say read in context.
Go
man.
ahead.
So let's go back.
Okay.
First of all, this story is about that.
Where is the beginning?
Okay, let's go for
Go
the
ahead.
beginning. Okay. Then Jesus entered the pass to Jericho. Now behold,
Jesus
there was a man
Right.
named Zacharias who was the chief tax collector, and he
Right.
was rich.
Go ahead.
And he sought to see who Jesus was, but
Okay.
could not because of the crowd. For
So this
there
is
was short
Jesus'
stature.
own story.
Yeah, right it down. Right here, Jesus, like, it's just
Okay.
somebody's telling the story.
Keep going.
okay? So he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree
Mm-hmm.
to see him, for he was going to pass away. And Jesus came to the place. He looked up and saw him and said to him, Zacchaeus, make haste.
So this
and
is
come
Jesus'
down." Yeah,
own
this is
story.
This is story. This is Jesus' story. For today I must stay at your house. So he made the haste and came down and received him joyfully.
Mm-hmm.
But when they saw it, they all complained, saying he was gonna be a guest with the man who is a sinner. Okay, so this guy
Jesus.
obviously he's not enjoy. Yeah, Jesus. This is Zacchaeus is not a. It's supposedly he's a sinner. Right? Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, look, Lord, I give half of my goods to the poor, and if I have taken anything from anyone by false accusations, I restore fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house because he also is a son of Abraham. For then the Son of Man has come to seek and save that which was lost. So that's Jesus saying he's the Son of Man.
This is all
Right.
no parable. This is
Now,
actual Jesus
yes,
story.
right here, yeah.
Okay, go.
Now, as he heard these things, he spoke another parable. Right
Keep
there.
going.
Right there. You see it?
Right.
As he said the thing, he spoke another parable. So this is
Go
where
ahead.
the parable starts.
Another parable.
Right, right.
Okay.
So this is where the parable starts.
Go ahead.
Okay? And he's talking, now here are the things, and spoke another parable, because he was near Jerusalem, and because they thought the kingdom of God will appear immediately. Therefore he said, a certain blind man went into a far country. So this is where the parable starts.
Okay, go ahead.
Chapter 12. A certain man went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom to return.
Okay.
So he called 10 of his servants, delivering to them 10 minas, and said to them. So he got how many servants?
10.
10. Do business till I come. Okay. So this is
Okay.
not Jesus. This is a parable.
That Jesus
of a
is
man.
telling.
Right. Well, yeah. But
A message that
right,
Jesus is
that
bringing.
Jesus-
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So a parable, it's a story to give us a picture of something.
To get a lesson.
Yeah. Right, correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Correct. So there was a certain man,
Okay, go ahead.
no man, from a faraway
So Jesus
country.
is telling us a
Yeah,
story.
yeah. We
Go
don't know
ahead.
the country. He's just a
Okay,
story.
so
from
keep
far away.
going.
He got 10 men, right? Okay. But his citizens hated him and sent a delegation after him, saying, he will not have this man to reign over us.
Okay.
And so it was that when he returned, having received the kingdom, he then commanded his servants, to whom he had given the money, to be called to him, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading.
Okay.
Then came the first, saying, Master, your mina has earned 10 minas.
Okay.
And he said to him, well done, my good and servant. And the one that's saying that, remember, is that this one
Okay.
man. We don't know who this man is. This is part of a
Gotcha.
story, okay? And then he said, well done, good servant, because we're faithful is in a very little, have authority over 10 cities.
Okay.
Then the second came saying, Master, your mina has earned 5 minas. Okay? So
Okay.
everybody's like earning the best,
All
right?
right, so let's go to
keep going.
minas, yeah.
Okay?
Master.
Okay. And then, Master, he is your mina, which I have kept and put away in a handkerchief. So this guy
Okay.
didn't do anything with that. For I fear, and this is his excuse, for I fear you because you are utter man. You collect what you did not deposit and reap what you did not sow.
Okay.
And he said to him, out of your own mouth I will judge you, you wicked servant. You knew
Okay.
that I was an outer man, collecting that did not deposit
Australian?
and reaping what I did not sow.
Okay.
Why then did you put my money in the why didn't you put my money in the bank
Okay.
that I might become?
So these are the words of Jesus, though, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's a parable.
So
Yeah.
keep going.
But it's not a
okay.
real story. It's just a parable.
It's not a real story. He's
No, it's just a
telling
parable.
a fake story.
No, it's a parable.
But parables are on real
No,
events.
they're not fact. No, they're not
It's
fact.
just
That's
Jesus
a
made it
misconception.
up?
He tells stories
that are not
to
real.
pick a picture. Okay, when he talks about kingdom, for example, when he talks about the kingdom of God,
So you're saying Jesus would make up this story?
yeah, he never mentions names.
Okay, that's interesting.
If it was real, he'd be
Okay.
like the King Solomon. Whatever,
Okay.
he would tell a story. He never mentions names. He never mentions.
Okay.
He just mentions characters and gives us the pictures.
But these are the words of Jesus.
Right. These are the
Okay.
words of Jesus, and he's telling us a parable.
And that parable.
So a parable,
Right.
is
But
a secret message hidden within the parable
so
for
that's
us to
okay.
understand
So in
something.
that parable, okay. So let's
Yeah.
get to. In that parable, it says,
Sure.
"Bring forward those enemies of mine
Right.
who did not want me to reign
Right.
over them, and slay them before me."
Right. So
do you
in that
think
story-
Jesus is teaching us
in that,
this
no,
a parable?
in that story,
Right.
that man is
Okay.
saying this.
So what is the message of Jesus in this parable and this?
That's a good question. Okay,
Right.
that's a good question.
I don't believe that's a good message.
So
right?
well, because you're seeing like
Right.
as Jesus is saying this.
But he is saying this is
No,
the
no,
words
like
of Jesus,
you say,
right?
Like you said, no, he's
no.
telling a story. Okay.
Okay,
If I
but-
tell you this,
Right.
hey,
If you're here to tell me a moral story.
There was a man in a faraway kingdom,
Right.
and there was a queen, and
Right,
there was a
right.
king.
Right.
He had 2 servants. They went out, they ate, and then the second servant killed the third servant.
Right.
Now,
But there's some
are
moral.
those my words in there? Is that, am I?
Those
is that me
are
saying that?
exactly. So what I'm saying is, let's say you
Right.
tell me, I'm going to tell you a parable, right?
Totally,
I'm going to
totally.
teach you a lesson
Right.
through a story.
Right.
And the story you tell me
Right.
has massacres and killings in
Right.
it.
This-
I'm going to ask you,
Right.
what is the message
What does
you're
that
giving
mean, right?
me?
And that's what the
Right.
let's see. Let's see
So,
what's
go
right
ahead.
here. Yeah. So let's see this. Bring here those enemies of mine who did not want me to reign over them and slay them before me. When he said this, he went ahead going to Jerusalem. And then he came to pass when he drew the near the sea of Bethany. Okay. So
These are names and places.
Yeah.
right?
No. Well, the
Okay.
parable already finished, bro.
But what I'm saying is, okay, so this is now no longer the parable?
No, it's not
Okay,
parable.
okay.
Remember, don't get confused because the way it
All right.
confused, man, is because numbers. And it almost seemed like he's speaking and he's not speaking.
Right.
All these numbers right here,
Yeah.
like 23, 24,
Okay.
that was put later for us.
No,
to
but I'm saying, how would you know where the parable begins?
Okay,
ends,
so
right?
let's see what it begins.
Okay.
Well, let's see what it ends. But then he said, Master, for I say to you that everyone...
Master here is the parable still.
Yeah, it's still the parable.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Everyone has will be given from him, does not have any... Okay. But bringing here those enemies... Okay,
of mine who did not want me to reign over them.
Okay, and they finish. Boom, dot. You even see the little commas
No,
right
but dots are all right up in here too. But
No, but not the double ones.
Commas here?
Yeah, but not the double ones.
Let me
See it?
Okay.
The double ones
So
means like
double
this.
commas
So
mean...
see, start right here. Start right here.
Okay.
See
So
it?
let me see where it begins then. The doubles.
Yeah. See it? See right here, right
So
here.
he called 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is
So
all
this is
part
where
of
he
the parable.
begins.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Correct.
keep going.
So
then.
it finished right there.
Okay.
Then Then the writer, okay,
When he had
something-
said-
it already finished.
Okay.
So when he has said this, meaning this parable,
Okay.
now it says he went ahead, going up to Jerusalem, and he came to pass when he drew near Bathsheba and Bethany and the
Okay.
mountain called Olive, that he sent two of his disciples, saying,
He said?
"Go into the village
Mm.
on the opposite of you, where as you enter, you will find a colt tied,
Mhm.
which
Which
no one has ever sat. Loose it up and bring it here. And if anyone asks you why you loosen it, thus shall say to him, because the Lord has needed of him."
Okay. So the point being,
Yeah.
is that Jesus
Because in the
telling
beginning,
me
you were telling me that Jesus was saying this is
No, no, but
like this is his words
No,
saying
no,
the
no, no.
command.
What I meant,
Yeah.
and is that this is the words of Jesus, as being taught to us.
Yeah, he's saying a parable.
Exactly. Okay,
Correct.
so is Jesus is telling us in a parable or whatever, a story,
Right.
that bring forward those enemies of mine who did not want me to reign over them and slay them before me. What is the message here for us?
Right. So we need to see the whole context of it, right?
We
So-
just read the
so let's-
whole
so- so
thing
let's- so
until
let's
the
go
beginning
through-
to end,
So
right?
let's do the beginning, right?
All right.
So then you have a master.
Right?
He had he had 10 servants.
Okay.
Right. Some of them went and they minus his money. Let's just say money. The money.
Sure.
They went to invest it. They got double. So now we see a picture of a master and his servants.
Got it.
And then we see one lazy servant.
Got it?
He didn't do anything.
Right? So he should be killed?
He should. Wait, that's the thing. That's the thing. This guy's
I'm with you. I'm listening.
Okay. So and then it says we'll come to the last, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, and say to you, everyone. Oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
What is it?
Go ahead.
Okay. For I say to you that everyone who has will be given, and from he who does not have, even what he has, will be taken away from him. Man, that's freaking good.
Yeah.
So
What does that mean?
okay. The picture and the whole parable thing, God is giving you a gift.
Right?
Okay. That gift, in this case, the master, you can say, is kind of God. Okay.
All right.
The
Easy
gift
then.
that is given to you, okay, which is, for example, the gift of love, right?
Right.
The giving, right?
Right.
Giving food, whatever. If God has provided you with all these gifts, you're a great businessman, right?
All right.
You have all this stuff to do a different stuff, and you keep it just for yourself. That's selfishness.
Right, okay.
You're not giving fruits of it. You're not multiplying. You're not doing anything.
That's a
with it.
servant in the parable?
Of course, yeah. I'm just saying that.
Right,
you
so
know?
but get to the message here, but bring
Right.
those enemies of mine, and these are the words of Jesus,
Right.
Who did not want me to reign over them and slay them before me. What's the moral lesson in this parable
so I'm
for
explain
us?
this. The enemies of mine is selfishness. We have to defeat
Oh,
that, and we gotta slay that.
where did you get that from? Right?
Oh no,
that's
well,
not in the wording, right?
Well, that's the thing that you
Right.
have to be for it.
Well,
'Cause
you're
when
kind
you
of
say-
making up your own meaning
well,
here,
but
right?
you too though. When you say
No,
enemies,
I'm reading
right,
it
so it doesn't
literally.
specify who the enemies are.
Right. So those who
symbolically-
did not want me to reign.
Right.
Right?
So those, remember, a lot of the times when you read, it'll speak about like, and she sat down with me. He's talking about wisdom. Is wisdom a woman?
No. But where did you
No,
get?
I'm just saying.
No. But this.
Right.
That's a scenario we have to find context, right?
Totally.
So in this context, actually about people, servants that are actual people, not
Totally.
greed, not
Totally.
a
Remember this.
parable.
We have to
right?
go back again. This story, it's a parable.
Right, but a
So
parable
everything's
about
symbolic.
Sure, but
So
they're
sometimes
actual
a servant
people,
can
right?
symbolize an
But-
angel.
but
it
I'm
can
saying is-
symbolize a house.
Exactly,
a
but how
people.
did you give that meaning?
know?
Just from your whatever you feel?
No, it's not for whatever. I feel.
Right,
It's
so
for-
you
when
got to
when
give
when
some
you
kind of
keep- when you
historic
keep-
context, right?
So when you keep reading and you
Okay,
keep reading it,
so-
everything starts making sense, and you start saying, "Oh, shoot, that's right." Because for example, one of the last enemies to be defeated, revelation from God, it's death. Is death
Okay.
a person?
No.
Right?
But,
It's an enemy.
but that's the thing. When you say that this is one of the last people, you have to have context that death is being referred to, right?
Right.
I can't just say, well, what's being referred to is my inner desires or
Right.
my that, right?
So,
like
so
even
because
when
of that,
we,
I will say the same thing. Is
Sure.
it referred to people, or it could refer to? So you will agree with me that it could be referred to people, or it could be referred to.
sure,
some
but you
right?
have to look at
Right.
historic context.
Well, we have to
for
look
us.
at the whole thing, right? So
Right,
I
we
would
just
say
we
the
just
whole
read
word-
the whole parable, right?
Well, that's just
until the
parable.
end, right?
Correct, correct.
So here,
Correct.
when you find bring these enemies of mine,
Right.
we're talking about people so far, not
Okay.
greed
Totally,
that
totally.
did not want me to reign over them
So
and slay
what
them
you-
before
what
me.
you have to
right?
ask first is
how
like,
would you
who
slay?
who did the master symbolize?
Right? I don't know. You tell me. So that's what I'm
I
saying.
think that'll be a homework thing.
But let's do this homework, guys. Let's do this. All right. So let's look at.
I'm enjoying talking to this guy, man.
I'm with this, man. This is great.
But you have to admit though,
Yeah.
in the beginning you were saying you mistaken that.
No,
you
no.
were saying that Jesus was that's the words of Jesus.
That's
meaning-
I
and
still say that, right?
But I was
As-
telling you it's a parable that he was telling.
But my point was that these are the words of Jesus.
Right.
And I, reading this, don't feel
But
that
you-
this is the message
But you
in
have
a
to
parable
be,
or.
right. So you have to be
Right,
careful
so-
when you say that, because sometimes Jesus is telling a story
Right.
and he's talking
But-
of what the person in
but-
the story is kind of saying.
But here the story has to have a moral message to it, right?
It has to have a message, right?
Right.
Definitely, yeah.
So the message that I'm reading, without giving
Right.
my own understanding to it,
So I came to help you out. And
I
give you a
love it,
revelation,
right?
my brother.
So that's what I'm saying is that me and you have to go and research
Right.
if we can give a different meaning to
So
this because of context.
My question is this:
Go ahead.
Would you accept if I'm teaching you this stuff?
Sure.
Or is your mind already made up to? Be
No.
like,
I as I said,
Right.
if my mind was made up, I wouldn't even be asking.
I,
you, right?
that's what you know. You have a good spirit, bro. I like that.
But as Muslims, we do everything in the light of proof,
Totally.
right? If I tell you the Quran verse means something, I have to give you evidence.
Okay.
Right? I have to look at the sayings of the Prophet. I have to look at the authenticity of those. I
Right.
can't give my own like if I don't like a certain.
Would you say it's not fair? And I will say not fair because we're only using you would say Islamic resources.
No, we don't use only Islamic
talking
resources. Like when we talk about splitting the moon,
Like
right?
for example, like if you would tell me, oh my gosh, so the Prophet Jesus totally said, and Muhammad will come later. I'll
Right,
be like,
right.
dude.
Where's it at?
Heck
Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'll be
let's
like,
do this.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
but,
right.
but it doesn't. But it does give us an idea, correct?
Right.
And you're assembling that, like, you
So-
know what? Potentially, it could be Muhammad. We can't say certain that it's
I agree with you, right?
But you can say potentially, maybe that's it.
when you look at those signs that were given already,
Yeah.
and then you see a prophet
What's
in
your
the
number, bro?
desert,
'Cause I gotta
take
get
my
back
number,
with you.
man.
What
Take
city you
it.
at?
I'm in San Diego, I'm in La Mesa.
Show me Fulton, but
We're in Fulton?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. We'll still hang out.
we gotta.
We do.
How old are you, bro?
I don't know, 41, 42, something like that.
No, you're not, dude.
Nah, I am, man. I'm old.
41, dude?
yeah. How old are you?
34, man.
Nah, you're young, man. I like it.
But you got,
see-
you got a younger spirit. Though.
Nah, but see, check it out. So
Sure.
when we
What's your number?
619.
Okay, I gotta let you go in a minute, man.
All right, go for it, man.
Good conversation here, man. This is what's called enlightening, and just.
You know, I learned a lot from you, bro. Seriously, and I want to learn more, man. Go ahead.
What's your name?
I already put it in.
No, your name?
Othman already put it in. I already added
Sure?
it. Yeah, go to. Yeah, there it is. There you go, man.
Mike, dude.
Mike, I got your number.
Hey,
We're
thanks,
gonna
man.
hang out.
So
We're gonna
what,
talk.
What do you say? You're gonna give me? Did you say like a?
So I'm gonna give you this, and I'm gonna give you this.
Social media?
I don't. Yeah, we got a YouTube channel, but that's it. Phone.
Oh, am I gonna be on YouTube, dude?
Yeah, if you want to be.
It's okay, bro.
If not, we'll block you out. Don't worry
Go
about it,
for it,
man.
bro.
We
That's
got
fine,
you.
that's fine.
You got a Quran already,
Hey,
right?
Put the whole thing, dude.
The whole thing. We
Hey,
don't edit.
you have to
We
admit,
don't
there is
edit.
a couple dudes for both sides.
Sure.
I know a couple like Christians are like going in like
Nah,
they kinda
we
edit it,
don't do that stuff,
and they
man.
cut things up.
No.
Oh,
Look,
and also like I can see
look.
a couple ones that they do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like they trigger people and they like.
Nah. Like if you can go check our channel.
No,
We've got a bunch of stuff
Yeah, I
already.
think some people gotta trip out, man, when they hear.
Nah, this is good stuff, man. It's good stuff to learn from, man.
For sure, man.
All right, bro.
All right,
Keep
man.
up and
man.
give me a call.
For sure, man.
I'm gonna invite you down, have some dinner with us.
Hey, I would
Bring
love
إذا أعجبك الفيديو لا تنسى الإعجاب والتعليق، ولكي يصلك كل جديد اشترك الآن.